So we'll have that as a as an option for you. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get started. For those of you that do not know me, my name's Bob Gillespie. I am the player development coordinator for the Tri-State PGA section. It's nice to see many of you guys that. It's nice to see many of you guys that have played on our tour, and some new faces this year too. So we're excited to have some new players on the tour. Just to give you kind of an idea, what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about our Blue Golf scoring system. Pretty similar to if any of you guys have played on any of the Hurricane tours in setup and using it. It's actually fairly easy, I think, to go through it. But we're going to run through it, and then at the end of the presentation, what we will do is I'll answer some questions for you, and we'll go from there. Again, for those of you that are just jumping on, as long as you're on mute, that should be good. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to present my screen for you. And I'll present the PowerPoint presentation to you guys here. So give me 1 second, and we will get started. All right. So as I said, this is Blue Golf, which is our software program that we're going to use this year for live scoring. With that said, this is obviously a fluid situation. So we see the Blue Golf, the live scoring being what we're going to use through the course of all of the events on tour this year. So the first thing that you're going to do, if you have not done already, is you are going to search for Tri-State PGA Junior Golf on the App Store or Google Play. When you go on and you search, you'll actually see that there are two options. There's the Tri-State PGA app and the Tri-State PGA Junior app. You want to select the Tri-State PGA Junior app, and that will take you to what you need to do. If you select the Tri-State PGA app, that's pretty much the professional app. So make sure you select Junior app when you go in the Apple Store or Google Play. So both Apple products and Android products, you can download this particular application. What you're going to do is you're going to select the event that you're playing in. What we have done is we're using a demonstration for today. So that's why we have Valley Brook, and that's why it says the 27-hole scramble. So on your specific application, you will actually see the junior events on the Junior Tour app. So you'll click on the event that you're playing in. The next step that you will do is you will actually receive a check-in code from a Tri-State PGA staff member, approximately 24 hours from the start of your event. So that'll be your next step when you see that. You will then go back into the app. You're going to click on the check-in button, and you'll have an option on this screen. So you have two options. You can use your TSPGA member login, or you can use the check-in code. Either or is going to work for you. There's no specific one that's better than the other. Whichever you feel more comfortable and which you feel more confident using, you can do that. The TSPGA member login is what you use to get on to the Blue Golf application when you register for your Isley's event. So either one of those is totally fine. What you will do then is you will use the code that you have, whether you choose the check-in or your Players Club credentials, to log in to the app. When you get that, you'll come up with a screen. This will be your first event. So let's say, for instance, that's going to be next Monday at Westmoreland. You'll see all the information. And down in the left-hand corner, you'll actually see card. And that card is what's going to be your scorecard. Your next option is it's going to pop this screen up, and it's going to ask you to access your location. You can use allow while using the app, which will take care of it for the entire season, or you can allow once. Either or, whatever works for you. What this will do is this is going to give you access to our software, to Blue Golf, to show you pictures of each hole. What's really kind of neat is not only will you have the scorecard function, which I'll talk about in a second, you're also going to have a GPS view of the hole. So I know a lot of you have your rangefinders and some of you use GPS systems. This will actually eliminate the need for a GPS system. Certainly you'll still be able to use your rangefinder if you choose to do that, but this will give you kind of a look at the whole location, that kind of stuff. When you're doing your scoring, we are going to designate one person in the score or one person in your group to be the marker. That marker will be responsible for entering all of the scores for the players at the end of each hole. I'm encouraging you to keep your score as well. You certainly can use the application. If you feel more comfortable writing it down in a tablet or something like that, you're welcome to do that. We will not be printing scorecards this year. So the official scorecard will be kept by the marker and it will be kept on the application. What you will do is you will select the hole. The hole will come, so your first hole will come up. You put in the scores, and then you will swipe left to go to the next hole. Now, if you find that you've made a mistake or something isn't working right, you will then actually be able to swipe right. So if you go through the hole, you put everybody's score in, and then you realize, oh, I put a 4 down instead of a 5, you can swipe right to get back to the hole that you were on. So pretty easy process when it comes to doing, your scorecard. Now, a couple things to think about post round. For those of you that have played on our tours before, you've gone through and you sit and you go to the scoring table, which you still will. But before you get to that, you will confirm the hole by hole scores verbally with your marker. So more than likely, as you're going through your round, as you're playing, you'll be verbally confirming the scores at the end of each hole. But at the end of the round, you will do that. So let's say that Steve sitting, who and Mike and I were playing, and Mike was the marker. I would verbally go and tell him my scores, and you would check to make sure that was correct. When you get to the scoring area, whether it's myself, Steve, all of our staff, they're going to enter the hole by hole scores for you and confirm your total score. So the easiest thing to do is to have your app open while you're going over the scores with Steve or Mike, and then you'll know you're right there. This year, since we aren't doing scorecards, you will not sign anything. Once you verbally affirm your score, that's when your official score will be posted. So the verbalizing of your score, that will be the official score that will be entered into for our event. Now, one of the things, and those of you that played before, and those of you that played in other competitive avenues, there are rulings that may take place. If you're not sure when you're on the golf course, and our starters will tell you this, you'll play 2 golf balls, play both of those out, and then we can make that ruling once you commit. Now, of course, if we're out there and you see it, certainly you can ask us and we can make the ruling there. But if we need to make a ruling post-round, we'll have a specific area away from the scoring area that you will make the ruling. We'll only have the people that are involved in the ruling to be in that specific area. Now, this one is pretty important right now, at least for the first couple events, as we see where things are going to fall. Upon confirmation of your score, we're going to ask that you leave the property promptly and avoid congregation. Now, I know that's different in years past. Obviously, you want to wait and see your friends finish. You want to see these things. But as soon as you have completed your round of play, we ask that you leave and head home or head where you'd like to go. We just can't have groups assembling at this point in time. What we are going to do is, as soon as we have results, we're going to make them available on our section website and the app. So this year, you probably have heard from others that have done the webinar, we are not going to do award ceremonies. What we will do is we will be giving you the shop credit and your awards at your next event. So, for example, if you're playing in Westmoreland and Diamond Run, if you place at Westmoreland, we'll have your plaque, your shop credit, your ice cream coupon will be there for you at Diamond Run. If you are not playing in another Isley's event, I think there's a couple, it's not a lot, we will then make arrangements for you to get your specific award. So again, just it's a fluid situation that may change towards the middle to the end of the season, but we're not 100% sure. We just want to make sure that we have you out and playing golf in the safest manner possible. So that is pretty much it in the way of our scoring. What I'd be happy to do now is answer any questions that you may have, anything that you're not 100% sure on. I am very happy to answer those questions for you. You can certainly use the chat feature over here on the right-hand side or on the top right, or you can just ask them. So I'm going to open it up right now. I do have a couple more things, but I want to give you the chance to ask any questions first, and then I can continue with what we've got. So I'm looking right at Gavin Goodrich, and I know Gavin's going to have a question. I can just see it. I didn't mean to call you out, Gavin. I know you've got a question. I can just see it. So anybody that has questions, like I said, feel free to use the use the chat feature, or you can just ask them directly here. So. You guys are going to let me off scot-free? You don't have any questions? All right, so here's what I'll do maybe to spark some questions. You are going to receive in the next couple of days, early next week, our Junior Golf Tour playbook. And what our playbook is going to do is it's going to outline some of our new procedures and new policies as we move into the 2020 season. As I've said, again, it is certainly fluid. There may be some changes, but this is kind of what we're going to roll out with to start the season. The big thing, there's a couple big things that I want to share with you. The first is going to be the arrival information. So when you come to an event, we'll use Westmoreland for an example, since it's our first one. We are going to ask that you come to the event and not be on the property you need to be on the property 30 minutes prior to the start of your event. So you can't be there anytime earlier to the start of your tee time. So let's say Gavin, again, I'm looking right at him, has a 7:30 tee time. Gavin can come to Westmoreland starting at 7 o'clock, and then he will be able to practice from 7 until 20 after 7. At 20 after 7, Gavin will come to what we're calling the on-deck circle. The on-deck circle is going to be an area for us to get your picture, give you any last-minute information that you may need, check to make sure you're comfortable with the mobile scoring, and then you're going to move into onto the tee. So what this is going to do is this is going to allow us to keep you socially distant and not have congregating on the tee. Anthony, in response to your question, how ties are going to work, we are just going to we'll split the points and we'll split the shop credit. So that's a great question. No playoffs this year when it comes to that. All right, Gavin has a question. I thought he was going to ask it, but he wrote it in there. So let me read it here. So if you get pro shop credit at an event, you said you'll be getting it at the next event. Does that mean you'll get the credit at the club or at the event you'll be playing at the event? Yeah, so that's a good question. The way that will work is, let's use Westmoreland again as your example. So if you finish and you get shop credit at Westmoreland and we give it to you at Diamond Run, it will be for Westmoreland. Now, keep in mind that the credit will usually last all year, and you can certainly work with that specific facility where they're going to have record of that. So they may be able to do something for you online. You may be able to pick it up when you're at another event. So it's not an ideal situation, but I think we can make it work for everyone. So that's a real good question. Jake, were you able to get your sound and video taken care of? You can just say yes or no in the comments. A couple other things to keep in mind too. When we get to the teeing area, we are not going to have we're not going to have the opportunity or the availability of our starters box like we have with the candy, the teas, those kind of things. So we ask that you guys have everything you need, keys, ball markers, all of that kind of stuff. So just keep that in mind when we go there. Lucas, is there a rule sheet before each round? There is not. If there are any local rules or anything specific that we need to share with you, we will do that verbally. I can't imagine anything specific right now. Obviously, since we play USGA rules, but if there's something about the golf course or a local rule, our starters will be sure to share that with you. So thank you. It's a good question. Also, just to kind of keep it going, we are going to use what's called the golf ball lifter system this year. So you're not going to have to lift in. You're not going to have to go and get your ball out of the hole. The system goes right down in and attaches to the flag stick, and you'll actually use your putter that will lift the flag stick up. So it's kind of a neat invention to do there. Flag stick's going to remain in at all times, guys. Okay, so no taking the flag stick out or anything like that. All right, Lucas. Is there preferred lies in the bunkers without rakes? Well, we have the answer. So this year, your tee gift is going to be a water bottle. I should have had it with me. I could have shown it to you. And you are all getting a rake this year. Okay, so your rake will be your own personal rake. It'll fit in your bag, I promise. Your name will be on it, and that'll answer the question as to preferred lies in the bunker. So Lucas, no, because you'll have your own rake, but so that'll take care of that. Yeah, nope, you're right on time with questions. So that's where we are right now from that standpoint. And then other things, guys, not no shaking of hands or anything like that. For your parents, this is important right now. Spectator carts are not going to be available at this point in time. In all of our policies that came from the state, also from the CDC, we are not able to offer spectator carts at this time. Again, there's a possibility that may change, as we move forward, but at this point in time, any spectators will need to walk. We are also asking a maximum of 2 spectators per person, per player. That's just to help us with our social distancing and those kind of policies. In the way of masks, because that's come up on a couple of the other presentations, if you're going to be in the facility at any point in time to use the restroom, if the facilities are going to offer some kind of food service, you're going to need to wear your mask, just like if you're going to Giant Eagle or going out to another store along those lines. You'll need to do that. As for playing on the golf course, the mask is up to you while you're playing. If you want to wear it when you play, you're certainly welcome to do that. You use your judgment and your personal, what's going to work best for you. Our staff will have their masks on, myself and my staff. So any interactions we have with you guys, we will have masks on. So that will take care of that. What else, guys? What other questions? I know it's later in the day on Friday. Some of you are probably still in school. I think most of you guys have finished up, but ask away. Now's your chance to ask any questions that you have. I either did a really, really good job or nobody was paying attention. So I'd like to think I did a really good job. Okay. All right. So a couple things just to kind of keep in mind too as we move forward. We do have some of the events posted already on the web with your tee times. Any of the events that have been sold out are actually out online. You can see that. You should have received an email as well. If you have any questions, anything that you need, that comes up after you get off the call, certainly reach out to me. I'm going to put my email address. I think most of you guys have it. I'm going to put my email address in the comments that you can take a look at to go from there. But anything else that anybody has, any questions, concerns, comments?
question about the caddy there.
Is there?
Right about your email.
Oh, okay. I apologize. I didn't scroll all the way. Okay. There actually is a couple. I'm sorry. Because different counties are in different zones. Will anything change between tournaments based on if they're yellow or in the green zone? Jake, that's a great question. At this point in time, no. I know that the majority of our tournaments are in green, I believe. I know that there was an announcement made while we were on here. I think the only county that in Western Pennsylvania, I think Beaver, and I think Washington. Correct me if I'm wrong. But we will be watching that, and if we are able to make any changes, we certainly will let you guys know. But at this point in time, this is kind of what we're going to do. If we go to a course and the range is open, will we have to space out a little bit, or can we all just hit at the same time? Most of the facilities, Gavin, we're going to space you guys out, the best we can. Some of the facilities, the ranges are a little smaller, but I think we have enough room, and with our plan, we should be able to be okay. So I don't think you need to worry about that. The question about can we have a caddy? No. This is you will carry your bag. You can have a pull cart if you choose to do so. It is either walking or you can push or pull a cart. Thanks. I didn't scroll all the way down, guys, when you asked those questions, so I apologize. Very good questions. We are also, like I said, this is going to be recorded, so you will get a copy of this next week to reference. We also are there to help you, obviously, like we've done. Any one of our staff can, answer these questions for you. But yeah, I mean, we're excited to get started a week from Monday. We've got a great schedule, as you guys have seen. We're just going to ask everybody to, be mindful of social distancing. Parents, spectators, if you're looking for golf balls, just kind of point them in the right direction. We don't need everybody in the woods looking for a golf ball next to each other. But yeah, just as long as everybody just maintains our social distancing, and we're excited. I think we're going to have a great year. But yeah, anybody that has any questions or any comments, certainly feel free to email me. If not, we'll see some of you at the first event at Westmoreland. If it's not Westmoreland, we'll see you at some point in time in the month of June. I hope everybody's a great weekend. Hope you get hopefully you get a chance to get out and play a little bit. And again, anything we can do to help, we're here for you. So have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you real soon.
Hey, did you see my question in chat by chance? The last one I just posted.
Which one, Jake?
So the device that you're talking about that's going to be in the hole, you said you're going to use your putter to pull it up. Yeah. I think we have those at the country club right now.
Okay.
And if it is what I'm